The Misadventures of Agnetha Deveaux. Episode 2, The Beginning, written by Pentaghast.
Agnetha Deveaux is the name that's on a lot of people's lips. From solving the murder of political activist Tony Ivans to becoming partners in one of the city's biggest new public drinking houses, the Vestament Silver. But just who is this enigmatic elf, and how did her story start? I'm here with Agnetha herself to ask her just that. Joining her is her partner in crime and assistant, Tamel Robertson of Verdoon City Council. Miss Deveaux, Mr. Robertson, thank you for joining me.
All right, Dave.
Thank you for having us.
Now, how did you two meet? What started this partnership?
Well, Agnetha could probably give you the exact time and date we met.
Indeed, I probably could. It was the 19th of the 2nd, 1477, when I first arrived here in the city of Verdoon. I came from up north. I'd heard a lot of the place. That was the furthest western colony of the Josephinian Empire, one of the first major ports of industry, the usual information. It was on this morning I arrived in the city by coach, which dropped me off at the city gates. Excuse me, is this the final stop? Do you not travel further into the city?
Nah, love. Streets are too narrow. You have to make your way right from here.
With a heavy trunk and the suit on my back being my only possessions, I made my way to the city and the central station, where I picked up my parents, who arrived by train a while later.
Mon chéri.
Josephinian.
Comment ça va? How was the journey?
Quick, but I am still not used to the bumps and unsteady train travel. Even after hours of sitting, I still feel the need to sit once more on stable ground.
Come this way. There's a cafe in the station. I would like to confirm with you that this is the property you want, that you haven't changed your minds.
Oh, we are sure. The journey here got us very excited to see it.
Ah, that is good. I made an appointment with the estate agent shortly after I arrived, and I am going to meet him there at 1 o'clock this afternoon. I still have your list of all the things you want checked off. In the meantime, you have a room booked in the hotel across the road where you both will be staying tonight.
Do you need us to come see the house too? If only to make sure this estate agent doesn't try to take more money off you.
No. I'll be fine. You two stay here and relax. You've had a long journey from Whittier. Tomorrow morning, you'll be living in your brand new house.
At the time, I was a real estate agent, and it just so happened that morning I was at the Vestament Silver, which, of course, is now Agnetha's base of operations.
So, what can I do for you this morning, Russ?
It's a bit quiet in here, isn't it?
It's barely gone 11. Not everyone is a wino like you, wanting a morning drink.
I'm not a wino. I'm not homeless yet, although I might be soon. I'm still barely keeping that apartment where there's not much work opportunity for musicians around here.
Morning, Charlotte.
Morning. Are you staying long?
Not for long, I'm afraid. I'm just popping in to give you this. Your advert for tenants is now posted.
Ah, so you're the real estate agent.
I am he. Russ, right? I believe we met last year.
We did. Yeah. Charlotte's going away party.
I prefer to call that event the Night of Broken Dreams.
Cheer up. You'll get out there dancing one day.
Unless you find both of my ungrateful brothers and drag them back here and chain them to the bar. I'm not liking my chances.
On an unrelated note, can I use your backyard?
For what purpose?
For my sword practice. It's a new hobby of mine. Well, an old hobby rediscovered. I ain't got the room at my place to really do much.
I have to go. See you later.
See you. Now, Russ, calling that space at the back of the tavern a backyard is giving it a bit more credit than it deserves.
Good morning, Mr. Robertson.
Morning, Sophie. Have there been any messages or appointments made for me?
You have an appointment at 1 o'clock at 11 Glen Lane, Hillsbury.
Miss Agnetha Deveaux? Agnetha Deveaux. Well, I hope Deveaux was pronounced like that. Did you see this woman?
I didn't. Mrs. Jameson dealt with her. She's an elf of a darker.
Right. Well, I'll head up there about 12. Hillsbury is in the South Hills, isn't it?
At the very top of the hill, with a view right up the river. The properties there are not cheap.
Agnetha. Miss Deveaux, Tamel Robertson, Ross's Out Estate Agency.
Agnetha Deveaux, pleased to meet you.
Let's go take a look at this house, shall we?
It is a nice space, and big windows.
Yes, those were added last year. They really make the most of the view.
Yeah, nice. Really let the light in. 30 grand, you said?
That's right. Do you mind if I ask what you do for a living?
Nothing yet. Just moved to Verdoon. I'm still getting settled.
Oh, when did you get here?
About 2.5 hours ago.
Huh. So, where are you from?
This place is for my parents. We're from Witchia, lived there a few years, previously moved around a bit, but now we're looking to settle here.
Oh, really? If you don't mind me saying so, I must commend you on your Josephinian. I'd have never have guessed you weren't local. Will you be living here with them? There are 3 bedrooms.
No. I'm looking for somewhere a little more central. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. Just somewhere small.
If you're interested, I might know of a place.
Yeah? Where's that then?
You've just got here, but do you know the city well?
I was up last night memorising the street map, so yeah, pretty well.
Okay. At 45 Juniper Street, we could stop by this afternoon.
That we can do. This place is perfect. Now, do you take cash or cheque?
Oh, £30,000.
Yeah. What'll it be?
Right then.
But would you, though?
Is that even legal?
Legality be damned.
Hi, Agnetha. Moving in upstairs.
I remember. We met only yesterday.
But we didn't. I'm Russ. Is there anything of yours outside that I can help you carry upstairs?
No, I only have this trunk.
Do you need help?
No, I'm alright.
Be careful on the floors.
£50 says there's a body in that trunk.
Don't be ridiculous.
Is everything okay?
Did you do all the necessary background checks on her?
I did. Why did you ask?
I put £50 on there being a body in that trunk.
Well, you'd better pay up. Because I saw inside it when I picked her up this morning. It was full of clothes. But yes, I did all the checks. She's clean. Born and raised in Elkstock, moved between Rayleigh and Witchia before coming here. No criminal record, no police record, and her references all checked out.
Good. Well, that has put my mind at rest.
Until she locks you in that trunk, at least.
And so Agnetha settled in. And things were pretty normal at first.
Yeah, at first. Things were quiet for those first few months, before I ran into me first spot of bother.
Ah, so it is you. You should have run farther, Elf. Wasn't hard to find you at all. Imagine Peacock's reaction when he discovers you'd only moved next door.
Oh, come on, I've had it.
Oh!
Answer me this. Am I to understand Peacock doesn't know where I am?
No, he doesn't.
Good. Ooh. You know, it was nothing too bad, but it's actually what set me on my path to where we are today.
Had you two become friends right from the beginning?
It took us a few months, actually. Agnetha continued to live at the Vestment Silver, and I am long-time friends with Charlotte, the tavern's owner. So I was always over there visiting her, and I would occasionally run into Agnetha. So I was telling him you can't just... Oh, good morning, Miss Deveaux.
Good morning, Mr. Izzard Robertson.
Until one day, Agnetha approached me at the bar, and that's really what began the partnership.
Are you up to anything this morning?
How do you mean?
I mean, I was wondering if you would accompany me on a tour for this great riverfront city.
I should be able to manage about an hour and a half. I would be glad to accompany you.
Terrific. Shall we depart presently?
I remember when we met, you said you had memorised the street map of Varadune before arriving.
That's true. I did, but I forgot as the months went on. I figured your local knowledge would help.
I shall endeavour to do my very best.
So, tell me about yourself, Mr. Robertson.
You can just call me Termel if you want.
Gladly. All this Sir, Mr, Miss makes me feel like a maid.
Well, as you know, I'm a real estate agent. I work for my family's firm. Well, my father's. My mother's in politics. I'm 23. I have a younger sister, Rosemary, who's 21.
Oh, she's your sister. Yeah, I met her a few times hanging out with Charlotte. I noticed there was a bit of a family resemblance between you two. You've got the same grey eyes, crooked smile, sticky out ears, long hair. What's the deal with your long hair anyway?
Yeah, a lot of people ask. Well, I'm an aspiring politician, but don't hold that against me.
I shan't. So long as you don't hold my life choices against me. I am to guess you're growing your hair out to be like politicians used to in the old days.
You guessed correctly.
You know that nowadays they wear wigs for that sort of thing.
I do, but where's the fun in that?
Very true. So, a politician. What are your policies?
Hopefully a push for equality.
Oh yeah? Just in general, or...?
Well, everyone, everything. I mean, the government has been getting there, slowly but surely. But I want to join politics to do some good for the world, or at very least Harrington, or Varadune, and that's the greatest good I can imagine. Everyone having a fair go, no matter your upbringing.
You're an idealist. Nice. Well, that I am very much on board with. Here in Varadune, I practically tick every minority box. Maneer, black, immigrant, mage, I'm practically physically and emotionally crippled, and, well, that'd be improper to say. Which direction is Phillip Street?
That is near the medical asylum, just a left turn up ahead. So how about you, anyway?
What about me? Oh, you mean who I am? What I am?
Yes, exactly that.
Well, I was asking you.
Well, come back to me in a moment. So how about you?
Well, 25, only child. My parents, you met them both. I trained as a mage and am currently unemployed.
Your papers didn't mention you're a mage.
Yes, hello, please let me rent this property. I have the power to burn down your house with the snap of my fingers.
That's something you can do.
Nah. Well, yeah, but it takes far too much effort. I'm kidding, of course.
It's no problem that you are a mage. It certainly wasn't mandatory to state that you were. Honestly, I find the whole magic thing kind of fascinating.
Oh yeah? Charlotte said you were all around pretty fascinated with non-humans too.
Sounds kind of terrible when you put it like that.
Well, how is it then?
Well, it's not something weird. I guess, for as long as I can remember, I've always been fascinated with other cultures and peoples.
Like curiosities in a zoo?
No, it's nothing like that. This world is so full with all those stories, millions of them. I just wanted to learn about them. It's just that my parents... well... Today we were allowed to select our classes for schooling next year. I chose society and politics as well as the study of other cultures, which covers everything from the religions to the Moorish. There's even the Oroman and Gagarin.
The what?
I'm sorry, Father?
The study of what, did you say, boy?
The Gagarians?
Before that.
The Oroman?
And what are they?
The dwarves.
The cheek of that school. How dare they think they can force those abhorrent creatures onto our children's education? I mean, the stinking cheese-eating coward religions are one thing, but the blue midgets too? Forsyth was right. We should have sent them both to boarding school in Josephinia.
If you say so, dear.
But father, aren't the dwarves in their society actually more prevalent in Josephinia than Harrington?
You speak when spoken to, girl.
They weren't best pleased about it.
Well, that's an awful shame. But you stuck with it, eh?
I did. I got an education. Did my best to try and rid my mind of their lack of vision and open up to...
Oh, books! Books. Bookshop. Ooh, I love me some books. Nah, but yeah, it's a shame. Eh.
Do you do much reading?
A fair bit, yeah. I'm a bit slower now than I used to be, with, responsibilities and all that to deal with. Can only manage about one book a day or so. Let's see. Teaching Medicines 2, The Scavenger's Guide, Eredict of the Monsoon. Not heard of that. Here you go. Humans and Oroman, a book of early human and dwarven politics from a dwarven perspective.
Oh, very nice.
See, that's the one you want. Their point of view. It helps to expand your mind by seeing things from the other side. What's this? The Baritone Crime Family. Crime fiction. 7 volumes. Yes, please. Here, I'll buy that one you've got.
Are you usually this scatterbrained? Never mind. What kind of magic do you do?
Mastery of wandless magic. I perform fire, healing, and elven spirit magic. So, I can set people on fire, fix them, or talk to their ghosts if I mess up with the fixing them.
Does that happen often?
Not really. I can shoot fire from my hands, or put fires out, or control it. I can mend wounds, broken bones, reattach limbs, even clear up, irritations.
You're a doctor?
Well, not now. But I suppose I was one in the military.
You were in the military?
Yeah. Yeah, I was for a bit, yeah.
Sorry, forget it.
It's fine, truly. But spirit magic, that's a hard one. Proper advanced magic, as is healing. I studied both of those for about 10 years. Fire magic is comparatively easy. One of the easiest types of offensive magic because it's tied to your emotions.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. So, what made you come to Varadune?
It was the furthest I could get away from Witchy without crossing any major borders or large bodies of water. I was with my parents, and they don't like to sea travel. And they wanted to stay somewhere warmer after spending most of their lives in Elstock.
So it wasn't the beautiful scenery or the amenities of Josephinia available to you, but without the massive crowds?
Sure, the scenery's nice. And the people are, growing on me too.
But yeah, for us, our friendship wasn't immediate. It grew naturally after a few months. I think it was actually around the same time, hell, maybe even the same day, that I met someone else who ended up being important in my life. Sophie, any new appointments made?
There's been one. A warehouse by the docks. Some dwarven man and his daughter.
Uh-huh. Oh god, how do you pronounce that? Hello, Termel Robertson, Ross Izzard Real Estate.
I'm Mr. Robinson. You can call me Norm.
Norm, pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
So, buying a dockside warehouse. Shall we take a look?
Certainly. See, we're a merchant guild out of Josephine here. The Carrick family has run about, a decade now. And this last year, we've been expanding beyond Josephine here, setting up port here.
Well, I believe this warehouse would be perfect for such things.
Certainly looks it. Oh, Mr. Robertson, here's my daughter, Elsie. She'll be overseeing the Varadune side of the business.
Hello.
Well, hello, Mr. Robertson.
Termel. Please, call me Termel.
So, what's the size of this warehouse?
Oh, it's 9,000 square feet.
9,000 square feet?
Meters, 9,000 square meters. The ceilings are 20 meters high.
It looks perfect, Father.
Yes, it's a relatively new build. Used to be a carpet and textile warehouse.
Well, boy, let's head back to the office and sign that paperwork.
Wonderful to hear. We'll head there now.
Tamel, perhaps you would be able to give me a tour around the city sometime, just to become more familiar with my new surroundings.
It would be a pleasure, Miss Carrick. Elsie.
I look forward to it.
That relationship was a bit quicker, and we're due to marry later this year.
Oh, congratulations.
Of course, my parents weren't too enthused, but I mean...
About marrying a dwarf?
No, not really.
We'll cut that part out, if you wish. On to the next query. Speaking of interracial relationships, there was some talk among people that you two were in a relationship.
No.
Don't sound so offended. No, not with Agnetha. She's gross.
I'm not gross, you're gross. You smell like feet. Anyway, you couldn't handle someone...
Some would say you give a positive example for harmony between elves and humans.
Why shouldn't there be?
A positive example?
No, harmony. Full stop. We're all the same. The fact two people from different backgrounds getting along with one another is nothing extraordinary in the greater scheme of things. And I mean, people just expect that any time there's a man and a woman being close, there's something romantic.
Well put.
Okay, I understand that. Back to crime fighting.
Good idea.
What started you down that path, really? You did make mention of one event that inspired you?
Well, many things started it, but one night stands out for me. Yeah, keep it going, Ross! Yeah, woo! Something the matter, Charlotte? Whatever's in that letter seems to have riled you up a bit.
It's nothing. Just a letter from my brother.
You want to talk about it?
No, you don't need to do that.
I've been living here for 9 months now. Haven't I earned enough experience points to unlock your tragic backstory?
Okay, if you're sure. Long story, very short, I was a dancer. I have been since I was younger. I studied it for years. I put my all into it. Last year, after working a few jobs around the city, I finally got a chance to tour with one of the greatest dancing troupes around. Do you know much about dancing?
Nothing at all.
Okay, well, the names don't matter then. But this was an amazing opportunity for me. The day after my big going-away party, 3 days before I was due to leave, my father passed away.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Don't be, it gets worse. He had a will, and in it, I was given a few things, and my younger brothers were left this tavern. The oldest, Joseph, fled the country the second father was buried. My other brother, Jared, left for a village up north with his partner, completely disinterested in running this place.
And so you ended up with it?
Yup. After Mother guilt-tripped me about destroying the family legacy, I had to pull out from the troupe and another friend went in my place and I've been stuck here ever since. Now, Jared sends me this letter telling me as if nothing had ever happened, that he's opened his own tavern up north in that business as well.
Well, that's infuriating. Where is this place?
Village called Hindley. Why do you ask?
I'll find him and burn down his tavern.
Nah. Wait, gosh, you're serious? That's criminal.
Eh? Nah, I won't, don't stress. But that sounds awful.
It is. So, how about you?
Want my tragic backstory?
Sure. What were you up to before you moved here?
Born in a tiny country called Elstock, way north, deep in the mountains. My parents were both servants to a wealthy Rhalesian family. A bunch of merchants. They were kind, caring, very wealthy. They had this castle on top of a mountain. The halls were cavernous.
Really? So you were a servant's daughter? How do you get out?
Magic. The merchant family bought me an education. Don't know why. They were just nice like that. Then there was a war, I signed up, fought a few battles, won a few medals, broke my back, developed an emotional dependency, brought me and my parents out, roamed around Rayleigh orbit, doing odd jobs, before I ended up here.
What kind of odd jobs?
Hey, my wallet.
Mine now, out of my way.
Drop it, fatso.
Who do you think is... Oof! Oh, let's get out of here.
Give me the wallet.
Ooh, that was the table.
If I had my sword, I could have dealt with this.
Odd jobs like that.
Don't suppose you did a bit of carpentry on the side? That table is going to need fixing.
Oh, I can give it a crack.
Agnetha, I don't suppose you've done anything on stage?
Kind of, although I wasn't really part of that play.
I've been thinking of trying to diversify my act a little. My guitar only brings in so much cash. I've been thinking of becoming an illusionist.
Like a mage without magic.
Well, if you're interested, you could act as my assistant of sorts, providing the magical effects to make the tricks seem more real.
Scamming.
Well, no, not really, but...
I might be in for that. Although, I would be limited to setting things on fire, in terms of real magic. But I might know a few tricks.
We'll see what can be done.
I think I always wanted to help people. A bit. Ross's magic act took me all around, showing me some of the seedier parts of the city. And I guess I started to realise that things could be done.
Ah, which led to the monster slaying.
Oh my god, that giant monster thing is destroying my farm. Where's the monster slayer when you need them?
Hello, you called?
Who are you?
Agnetha Deveaux, elven mage, freelance detective and monster slayer. This is Termel, he's my assistant.
Hello there.
So, monster killing, eh?
You're the monster killer, but you're, well, you don't look like one.
Oh, and what should a monster killer look like, eh? Big muscle-bound dude with white ponytail, beard and gravelly gargling voice. Actually, he does sound alright. Yeah, maybe he's better for the job.
Wait, where are you going? You can't just leave that monster there.
Oh, so now you do want my help. Make up your mind then.
Which led to the murder solving.
Pretty much. I finally joined politics about a year or so after Agnetha and I met. And it was through me that Agnetha was on the Orangard Express to solve the murder of Tony Ivans.
Which pretty much brings us to where we are today.
What are your plans for the future?
Keep on moving up.
Yeah, same here. I keep pushing for the positive change. Marriage in a few months. Hopefully stick by Agnetha's side through whatever adventures or cases her work takes us on in the future.
Make the most of what I have, and keep helping, really.
Right. Anything else to add?
Nope.
Nothing I can think of here.
Well, that concludes our interview. I'll give this one to our typist. It should be in tomorrow's paper.
Champion.
Oh, are you happy with the illustration that will accompany the article?
Near enough's good enough.
It looks great.
There was something unrelated to the article I was curious if you would look over, Miss Deveaux.
What is it?
Something magic-related. I picked up this ring for my wife last week, and I had heard rumours from the seller that it had kind of a curse on it.
Really? Pass it here.
And there has been a bit of strange activity concerning it. It's nearly always hot to the touch and sometimes goes missing.
Yeah, there is something weird going on. I just need to...
I am Hula's turn. You mortals shall bow before me. Karasun Maranara. These tables and chairs shall fuel the fires of my engine of destruction.
Oh, great. A demonic ring.
Blood shall boil, rivers run red, and towns of...
That should sort it. That'll be £20. Just send me a cheque. You know where I live. Come on, Termel. Mind the demonic ash pile.
Thank you.
The Misadventures of Agnetha Deveaux, written by Royce Pentaghast, starring Liz Corrick as Agnetha, Royce Pentaghast as Termel and Norman, Jamie Van Dyke as the interviewer, Marie Butler-Cole as Charlotte, Benjamin Rossiter as Russ, Holly Gregg as Elsie and Sophie, Jake T. Hodgetts as the drunkard, the farmer, and the thug, and Malcolm Levitt, Benjamin Rossiter, and Royce Pentaghast as the demon. Theme music, the copyright of Matt Harris, produced by City Park Radio, Bent Ear Records, and Rabbit Dog Productions 2018.